there are literally thousands of different ways that you could think about robbing a bank. In fact, there are so many ideas that it is a subgenre of movie. You could look up bank robbing movies, and there are tons of ways on how different people rob banks because it's just, it's a undisclosed topic of exploration on how to what is the best way to rob a bank. And I think that Midwest Safety just came out with one of the best ways on how to rob a bank. This guy actually got really close, and in fact, he did end up taking money from the bank. He just then got caught not long afterwards. But I mean, it was an amazing heist. And I think we honestly should be taking notes from this guy because I've never seen anything like this personally. I think that a lot of his craftsmanship needs to be studied, and in fact, we could modify it to make it even better. So next time, the person who tries it would be successful. Sarcasm aside, though, this was a really bizarre robbery in and of itself. I've never seen anybody rob a bank in a Santa hat and and use Christmas presents. He had no weapon on him, and in fact, he was actually pretty polite, according to the bank associates that he robbed. It was a pretty wacky bank robbery. I'll be completely honest. I don't think I've ever seen this in any sort of movie or anything. But if there was a movie, it feels like I was watching one. Like this unfolds kind of how like a cartoon movie would in so many different ways, dude.
A small town Texas bank got a Christmas surprise it never saw coming.
Randy, somebody with a mask, sunglasses, and a hat is trying to come up in here with presents.
Merry Christmas.
Hi.
How are you? Good.
Good.
Got gifts. Just put them in there. Nothing funny, nobody gets hurt. Pull it up.
Now we get a first glimpse at our protagonist here. He looks like Christmas Deadpool in a business suit. And he's waltzing into the bank. We see him. He's got some baggy clothes on, and he's got a couple of Christmas bags with him. He's dressed like Santa Claus. He's bringing some presents, according to his testimony. And he tells the bank tellers to fill them up with cash. Nobody does anything funny. Nobody gets hurt. I assume the only weapon this guy would have is like a toy gun, probably maybe like a Nerf gun or some sort of like, I don't know, crafting gun or something that just like shoots out presents. I have no idea. But point being, I don't think this guy had an actual weapon on him. If anything, he probably was gonna pull out left and right fist and be like, these are my weapons of choice. But like it was just a bizarre robbery in and of itself because I don't think anybody's ever robbed a bank in a Santa hat before. And he like the way he acts as well. He's so odd. Like he's so oddly polite. He acts like he's not even trying to rob a bank. He's just like he's there to make a withdrawal or something. It feels like at the end of the day, they're just I have no idea. But he's very not your typical bank robber, and it's makes for a very cartoonish scene, honestly.
Sorry for the distress.
When I said this shit was unfolding just like a cartoon, I mean this shit literally is unfolding like a cartoon. This guy didn't even get 5 steps out of the door, and the money is already falling out of his bag. And from what I understand, that was half of the entire total that he dropped. That was 50% of everything that he took, he dropped in that instant. So he got away with half of the money that he ended up taking. And then he's not even accounting for Lester's cut. You know, Lester gets a solid 20% of every heist that you do. But point being, this guy dropped 3 grand on the floor because he didn't realize that his Christmas bags weren't going to be able to hold like actual folds of money. And it's like I don't understand how he didn't realize at a certain point that the bags were getting heavier. I think that's a pretty common sense thing. If you can tell you're holding a bag, the heavier it gets, the lower your hand is going to drop, or like the heavier it's going to feel. It's just common sense. But I think this guy was just so like adrenaline filled from robbing these people that he just didn't realize what was going on, or maybe necessarily didn't care that the bag was going to rip because he thought he was going to get out in time. But the saddest part is he doesn't even go back for it. Like, you worked this hard for the money. Like most people would go back for it. I've seen Pokemon scammers with more degeneracy go back for the product that they're robbing from like people than this guy had, and it's actual money at this point. Like, that's way more valuable than Pokemon would be, because you have to sell Pokemon and you have to front it and everything, and it's like, this is real money. Why would you not go back for the money? I don't understand. You've gone this far, pick it all up and then you'll be good. But maybe he just thought if he just kept walking that he'd be fine. He made out with at least half of his take, and he can explain to Lester what happened. I have no idea, but it was just such a bizarre chain of circumstances that happened. It's so much like a comedy skit going on. I swear to God, I thought that this was a joke from Midwest Safety at first when I loaded this shit up.
And 4 days later, they received a break in the case.
David, I knew him from working with him a lot in Mexico. He was the kitchen manager up there. That's how I knew him to begin with. So we were hanging out a lot at that time, and I noticed hanging out with him, I figured out real quick, kleptomaniac. Mm-hmm. Like, he would be stealing random, and I'd be like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? He would be stealing stuff all the time. And then shortly after that, he had robbed the college. And he came and told me about it. I was like, what? And then I was like, well, you gotta give that stuff back. He's sober. That's the part. He's sober. He's just crazy.
So yeah, they end up going through like the normal process of taking stories and everything. They get a statement process from the bank itself, and then they end up getting a video, or they get a screenshot of video footage of the bank teller's kiosk or whatever that was recording, or security camera that was recording the whole thing. And they end up posting it on Facebook, and then somebody from the robber's personal life identifies for somehow a 1 in a billion shot. I don't know how the fuck he could have gotten this, because there's no like real clarification on, or there's no like real like unique design on the hat or whatever, but he says he guessed off of the hat that he knew this was this guy that had committed the robbery. Like, he knew, and he goes more into depth on how he also like pieced it together, like but like he said to the officer originally, like, he knew that this was the guy from the picture. Like, it was his ex-coworker because of the Santa hat that he was wearing, which is just a crazy tie to make. I don't know how you connect those two dots together and just go off like that. That is some Sherlock Holmes type shit anyway. But he ends up giving a statement to the officer saying that he used to work with this guy. His name was David, and he was a bit of a kleptomaniac when they did work together. And he used to steal stuff constantly. He even robbed one of their colleagues and told this guy about it. And in fact, he had also, I guess, went and told this guy about the robbery that he had just committed, and not necessarily told him that he had committed it, but made it seem like in a way that he himself had committed it, because he told him details that like hadn't been released yet, or things that like, how would he know about unless he was there personally. So it's just, it was pretty clear to the person that they end up speaking to in that clip that his ex-buddy, co-worker, whatever you want to call him, David, was the perpetrator that they were looking for. So they end up going to his house, and that's where they end up arresting him on site.
Hey, get EMS and out to our location.
Good, bud.
Hey, come on.
You're lucky you're still breathing.
No.
Yeah.
You good?
Good.
Yeah. You good, bro? Is it you bleeding?
No, it's him.
Yeah.
Double lactation.
14th Street, white male, bleeding from the face.
Pull your knees under. There we go. I'm gonna stand you up.
Jenkins, is everybody secure?
Listen to me. They're going to cooperate if we walk down here. You understand me? Don't not cooperate. Get a marked unit that we
We got one.
Okay.
Police department. Hey, hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Stand up!
He doesn't know anything about this.
Okay, shut the fuck up.
So yeah, they had some off-duty police officer that was patrolling his house, and then they had a couple of geared up police officers that were just nearby in case they needed to swoop in to help out the arresting officers, which they did because they had him pinned to the ground, but they couldn't like get him arrested, I guess, or I don't know the full story. But point is, when the officers got there, the dude is bloodied as shit. He looks like they put the fear of God in him. Like when they turn him around and they stand him up, the blur that Midwest Safety puts on the video does not do it justice. You can still see like gashes and cuts and everything. It is bad whatever they did to him. I don't know if he just tripped on his steps because there's like a pool of blood right next to one of his steps, or if he was just laying there for a second after being hit in his face. But like it is bad how bloodied he looks. And then they they go and open up the door, and his friend is in there playing video games. He's got that headset on. He's not even listening to any of this shit. And then they point the gun at him. They're like, "You police, get the fuck down!" And he just like, he stands up so worried he doesn't even know what's going on. And they're just trying to arrest him. The guy David is like, "He has nothing to do with this. Leave him alone." And then you can hear the officer just scream, "Shut the fuck up!" Like that's such a crazy scene. I felt bad for the friend in that instance because I would be scared shitless if this was going on. You were just imagine just playing Minecraft or you were getting like a quad feed on COD or something, and then all like it's essentially getting swatted. You know, I can't imagine what that dude was going through in that moment. I also just want to point out this amazing testimony that he ends up giving to the officer. They don't get a lot of camera time with it, but the part that they do end up showing is just phenomenal, and it shows how little disregard this dude had for his friend getting arrested.
You see get arrested?
Nope.
You don't see it?
Nope.
So you're just playing video games as this is going on?
Yep.
Okay.
Heard it, tuned out, dialed in.
That is a true gamer right there. He was fucking dialed in. He didn't give a shit about what his friend was going on, whatever shit his friend was up to in the background. He was fucking dialed in. This dude, I'm sure he was playing some sort of competitive, like I don't know if he was playing Helldivers or if he was playing fucking in a super competitive Marvel Rivals game. Maybe he was about to hit fucking Grandmaster and then the police swatting him just threw his comp game off. I have no idea, but I feel so bad for this dude because he was like genuinely locked in at the moment and he had no idea what was going on, dude. It's such a scary event. But I just also want to show like some after scenes footage of David, because whatever the officers did to him, like I said, genuinely fucked him up. They show some footage of once he's in the hospital, and like the left of his eye is just so swollen he can't even see out of it. It is, yeah, I don't know what these officers did to him, but genuinely this seems like its own form of cruel and unusual punishment.
The suspect, identified as 36-year-old David Rodriguez, was taken to a hospital 40 minutes away due to his injuries. After he was medically cleared for booking, he was transported back to Walker County Jail and charged with 2 counts of robbery, 2 counts of aggravated assault against a peace officer, taking a weapon from an officer, and resisting arrest. In all, his bail totaled just over $1 million. The 2 charges of aggravated assault against a peace officer were dismissed. However, he was found guilty of taking a weapon from an officer and both counts of robbery. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison.
So yeah, as you can see there, his like half of his face looks like a cake after it's baked, and then the other half looks like a cake before it's baked. Like one half is just completely swollen, and the other half is like it looks like it's like very much bruised, and he's got a lot of stitches across his face. He kind of looks like Chucky from I think it was Chucky 4 or whatever, or Child's Play 4 or whatever. But point being, like, he got fucked by those officers. I don't know what they did, but they need to stop being police officers and join the UFC. That was insane. But aside from all that, he got charged with like 5 different counts, including 2 counts of assaulting an officer. He got charged of trying to take an officer's gun away, which is where I assume they had like the legal right to beat the shit out of him, and ended up like getting his eyes swollen. But a couple of those were dismissed. Ultimately, he ended up getting 30 years in jail, and he was given the opportunity of parole in 2025. However, the Board of Parole denied him because he's a criminal and his actions were severe. So yeah, he's not getting parole. But point being, this was a very bizarre robbery, and I think that it could have gone. I think that it could have gone pretty well had you, one, not have bragged to your ex coworker about doing the robbery, and two, yeah, it seems like that's really about all that happened. If you would have just never bragged about anything, I don't, because there's no way that they would have been able to tie him to just having the Santa hat from like the guy's work party from years ago that he bought people. It's a crazy circumstance how he says he knew from the picture that that was the guy because of the hat that he was wearing, but there's no way in reality they'd be able to tie that to him. So if he just would have never told his ex-coworker that he robbed this bank, or that it was implied that he robbed the bank, like, he would have been completely fine. He kind of screwed himself over on that. But point being, if you want to rob a bank, this is a pretty successful method in a lot of terms. Just make sure you double bag your Christmas bags, so in case they put $3,000 worth of cash in your bag, you know it'll hold this time, because we know 3,000 is the weight limit for Christmas bags. But yeah, I thought that this was just a really funny video by Midwest Safety. I didn't think that robberies could be this cartoonish in nature. However, the human mind goes places that nobody else ever thought of. So that's something to chew on. But yeah, thank you for watching. See ya.